Angry guy here, and I'm trying to get comfortable. And today I want to discuss with you why some people can't be helped. This is something that a lot of people struggle with, and they don't realize it until it's often too late. So you have to understand that some people can't be helped. Before we get started, definitely want to go ahead and thank these patrons right here, and special thank you to these patrons. Sharky, Mickey Turner, GNU, Link Neurons, Cryptonomy Royal 2.5, B Bax, Brian A. Pierre Dramartel, David Herrera, Dead Lust, F.A. Crusader, Gabriel Prince, School Monster, Hansky, Ice Brigadier, John Charles Clark Jr., Joshua Flores, Levi Abram, Mocking Moniker, Nature Monk, Raymond Zuniga, Saint Everest, CPO Americana, Scott Venman, Thomas Danielle, Timothy Bruce Leoza, and Tim Myers. You guys are amazing, and I want to thank you for your continued support. It's because of you why I'm able to continue putting out this content, so thank you again. Now, guys, today I want to discuss why some people can't be helped. And it can be hard to understand this. It can be very difficult because there are times when you want to say, well, you listen to everyone's feedback, you listen to what others have to say. A lot of people are defeatist, and a lot of people who criticize you are people who just simply cannot do it themselves. I'm just like, this is something that everyone needs to hear. Everyone needs to hear this because you're going to come across this in your life and you're going to end up giving up because of these things. All right? You're going to end up giving up. Many of you have probably heard by now that Kim Kardashian is studying to become a lawyer, and she's doing an apprenticeship. That's one method that they can use means becoming a lawyer in California. All right, so she's doing an apprenticeship. She's studying. She's working for like 18 hours a week. She's studying her textbooks. She's taking exams. It's crazy. It's truly crazy. And there's a lot of people who are insulting her, talking down to her. And the interesting thing is, Kim Kardashian is worth $350 million as of 2018. And Kanye West is worth $250 million as of 2018. So Kim Kardashian is now worth a whole $100 million more than her husband. And collectively, they are worth $600 million. Okay? $600 million. Why in the world? Just tell me right now, why in the world would she need to go and become a lawyer? She could sit on her butt for the rest of her life. She's already good. She's already pretty. She's rich. She's one of the most famous people on the planet. Okay? She does not need to do any of this. It's so funny. It's so funny. And I want you guys to understand this because I've gone through this so many times and I'm still going through it. All right? And I saw a comment from this guy named Roderick Colbert. I'm going to read this quote from him. He says, remember, when someone tells you to stay in your lane, they are usually behind you. Keep it that way. This is the absolute truth. Absolute truth. I've run into people like that before who've like, they marvel, like the things that I say I want to do in my life. They're like, what? That doesn't sound, you're insane. That doesn't make any sense. And you know what I realize now? That's because that's as far as you can see yourself going. And you don't see me as being as capable as you, or you don't want to acknowledge that. You don't want to acknowledge your own limitations as a person. All right? Because you could not achieve more. So of course, you want to always say that, well, this is as much as you could do, so this is as much as I can do, right? Wrong. And it's funny because when you end up shattering someone's expectations of you, it's interesting because a lot of times you'll find these same people, they will actually do things to hold you back. There are people Lots of people, sometimes they do it subconsciously and they think that they are helping you. They'll even say they're helping you, where they'll see you succeeding and they will start putting up roadblocks to destroy your success. And if you let them, and if you let them win, then they'll just turn around and say, see, I told you weren't going to be able to do it in the first place. You're crazy. But if you keep pushing ahead and you keep pushing forward, then you just leave them in the dust behind you. And then it's funny because a lot of these people will turn around and come looking for help from you. Guys, many of you have seen what happened with me and the whole red pill situation, right? Many of you guys know what happened with the whole red pill thing. All right, I developed Red Pill Coin around 2 years ago, and there were a lot of people who actually in the MGTOW community who said, hey, Angry, you should develop a cryptocurrency. And I went and did it, all right? And to this day, there are many people who are still attacking me and still trying to destroy my life. TFM is one of them, all right? TFM did so much. If someone else had gone through the things that I went through, all right, they'd probably be doing unspeakable things right now. But in my case, I said, I'm leaving it to God. And I just kept pushing forward and pushing forward and pushing forward. I want to show you guys something about, because many of you remember Red Pill, right? The Red Pill scam, as they called it. I'm going to show you something, okay? This is the Twitter for Red Pill. And there's an announcement that came out today. We're pleased to announce that Red Pill Coin is now listed on etherflyer.com. Who will also airdrop 250,000 RPill. Sign up via this URL to take part. And by the way, Etherflyer has a daily volume of $10 million. $10 million. So Red Pill Coin is now listed on a $10 million exchange. And I'm working hard. Instead of talking about it, I'm just working hard. My team, we're just working hard. We're just pushing forward. Even when people have given up on me and they lose faith, I'll tell you something, a lot of people lost faith and then they saw, wow, we just did this. This is what's happening. You keep working. Even when everyone gives up and loses faith, you don't lose faith. I'm telling you. Don't lose faith in yourself. Never let someone's opinion of you become your reality. Never. You hear me? Never let someone's opinion of you become your reality. It's so funny because the same people, for example, go back 3 months ago, go back 2-3 months ago, the same people who were criticizing me months ago, one by one, they're beginning to pop up and take my cryptocurrency courses, asking me for help, asking me for forgiveness. Some of these people just, they don't even know how, they can't even properly ask for forgiveness. They basically have to blame their life circumstances. They can't even take responsibility for what they have said and done. Okay? Think about that carefully. Remember when I told you there's going to be a lot of homeless MGTOWs out there? Many of y'all didn't believe me? Just to toss this in there, by the way, guys, something I discovered recently is the importance of balancing your sodium levels. Sodium is an electrolyte, and if you're able to properly balance your sodium levels, it is amazing how good you will feel. But that's a subject for another video. I'm just tossing that in there because I'm really enjoying this right now. Yeah. So people will always try to put you down. They will always try to step in your way. They always try to get in your way. All right. And you know the truth, there's actually an ancient Chinese proverb. I'm gonna tell you guys something funny. So there's actually quite a few people that were Asians working on the Red Pill project, and I will tell you, like one of them posted. I'll show you something that one of them posted on our Twitter, because this is so funny. This is so funny. Like this is the funniest thing that they. This is the funniest thing I had seen. Like I want you guys to see. This is something that they posted. Like this is something they posted on our Twitter. All right, one of the team members. The person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person doing it. Chinese proverb. This is a Chinese proverb. The person who says it cannot be done should not interrupt the person doing it. Guys, I'm telling y'all, many of you are going to be downright shocked at the people that you see are homeless. You're going to see a lot of people out there who are homeless, a lot of people who you never expected. Some of you listening right now will find yourselves homeless because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. All right? You're not listening. You are not listening at all. I mean, think about this. I've told many of you that you could take $10, you could take $100 and turn it into $100,000. You can take $10 and turn it into $1,000. And if you trade it right, you can turn that 1,000 into 100,000, obviously. But a lot of people are still sitting on their hands. I'm going to tell you something interesting. The CEO of SoftBank in Japan, all right? SoftBank is a large company. He's a very well-known guy. He's very well-known, and he's known for being someone who likes to plan ahead. In 2017, he was hearing all about Bitcoin. This guy's a billionaire. And at the end of 2017, he finally said, screw it, I'm going to invest in Bitcoin. And he invested $130 million, and then the market crashed. He invested when everyone was buying Bitcoin like crazy. That's when his nerves got the best of him. Someone who's worth billions of dollars and known to be one of the most meticulous planners out there, highly respected, lost $130 million because he got caught up in what we call FOMO, fear of missing out. I don't know if you guys remember what I told you, because I've said this plenty of times about investing. You should be buying when everyone else is selling, and you should be selling when everyone else is buying, but no one listens. No one listens. A few of you do, actually. Mickey Turner listened. He's made a ton of money. One guy said to me, Angry, I made money off every coin you told me to invest in. I made money off every coin I invested in, except for one that you did not tell me to invest in. Okay? I want you to think about that. Don't forget, I even put out the day trading course. There's a day trading course, but I even put out a new course for you guys. That course is actually going to $200 on May 1st. And that course teaches you how to evaluate cryptocurrencies, determine which coins are going to increase by 10 times, 100 times, or even 1,000 times. You can find links to those courses in the description of the video. But I want you guys to think about this very carefully. What kind of person do you want to be? All right? Let me talk about failure very quickly. Failure does not make you a failure. I want you to understand something. Failure does not make you a failure. We use the word failure as though failure is something permanent. This is the irony. We use the word failure as though failure is something permanent. Failure only becomes permanent when we quit, when we stop trying, when we give up. Okay? If we continue striving, then we have not failed permanently. Think about that. And failure is something interesting. Failure is something that people have to work hard for. A lot of people say, "Oh, I tried and I failed." No, you didn't. You quit. You say you tried and you failed. No, you quit. You gave up. You gave up. Okay? Guys, think about this. In the NBA, there was a basketball player named Muggsy something or the other. Again, I'm not the greatest with these sports people. All right? But he was the shortest NBA player ever. He was something like 5'5", I think. 5 foot, 5 foot 5 inches. He was the he was the shortest basketball player ever in the NBA. 5 foot 5 inches, 5 feet 5 inches, and this guy was one of the best basketball players ever. Best. But think about this carefully. Someone his height, you would say, could never, ever, ever get into the NBA. And yet, he did it. To this day, there has been no duplicate of him. There's been no one else who's achieved what he's achieved. You know the reason why? Because most people have given up. They wouldn't even try. They're gonna, from the very moment that they start trying, they're gonna be told by people around them, oh no, this is not for you. You're never gonna make it. You can't do it. You're better off doing something else. You know, Thomas Edison, there's a story that Thomas Edison, it took him, when he was trying to refine the light bulb, he failed 10,000 times. 10,000. He failed 10,000 times before he finally figured it out and got it right. When Thomas Edison began working on direct current, because Thomas Edison was not the greatest scientist. He wasn't. He was a decent scientist, but he wasn't a great scientist. And he did what great innovators do when they lack the skills to do something. They go and they hire someone. They find someone who has those skills. And he went and he found Nikola Tesla. And he hired Nikola Tesla. And Nikola Tesla not only perfected direct current, but then later on, he created alternating current. Okay? And trust me, without alternating current today, the world would be a horrible place. Nikola Tesla, who was a genius on a scale that the world has yet to see ever again. Just to let you know this, died in poverty. He fell in love with a pigeon and died in obscurity. Until recently, most people didn't even know who Nikola Tesla was until Elon Musk named his car company after him. And that's when people started saying, oh, who's Nikola Tesla? Oh, wow. Go back like 10 years ago. Go back like 10, 15 years ago. Nobody knows who, no one knew who Nikola Tesla was. All right? He had become lost in history. Despite his great achievements, he had become lost in history. Think about this very carefully. Christopher Columbus was not the first person from Europe to discover the US, to step foot in the United States. About half a millennia before Columbus came to what is now the United States, the Vikings were already there. In fact, America is not even named after Christopher Columbus. It's named after a navigator. Guys, think about this carefully. The people who achieve in this world are the people that show up and the people that actually put something out there into the world. Because if you have something, if you create something, but no one knows about it, then it's you might as well have not even done it in the first place. I'm just being very honest with you. You have to work hard, and part of that step is to separate yourself from people who are very, very negative. Very, very negative. You're going to meet extremely negative people in your life. And these people are going to say and do things, anything to pull you down and keep you down. I want you to think about that. AP530 says high sodium means low potassium. MK Sheev says, what happened to Bitcoin today? Oh my gosh. So someone's asking, what happened to Bitcoin today? Well, let's look at Bitcoin right now. Let's see how much Bitcoin is trading for, okay? Because I get frustrated when I look at these things. Bitcoin is trading for $5,285. $5,285, okay? So, Bitcoin goes down by $200, $300 because of what we call fear, uncertainty, doubt. If you guys don't know right now, Bitfinex, which is one of the largest exchanges, and it's linked to something called Tether, they're being sued by like the Attorney General of New York, some crap, and they're basically on for not getting proper permission to sell securities. Again, in reality, it actually shows us that if you look into the story closely, it actually does. AP530 says Minnesota Vikings were here long before Columbus. If you actually look into it deeply, what actually happened is that we've discovered that Bitfinex, when it comes to Tether, is actually backed very securely. Tether is backed by like every single dollar. Like it's literally backed one for one. But what people saw was, oh, Bitfinex is being sued. We need to worry right now. We need to, USDT. We need to worry right now. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. AP530 says, he said Muggsy Bones. He was 5'3". Guys, so the NBA player that I told you about that was really short, and this amazing player, he was 5'3". He was 5'3". I'm wrong. He wasn't 5'5". He was 5'3". 5'3". 5'3". All right. Oh my gosh. And he's still alive today. He's not like a really old guy either. Guys, you have to be awake. Nature Mom says, morning angry, been busy. 1 month of moving and building up another place. That is incredible, bro. Guys, I want you also to focus on doing things that improve your life. If you're in an environment that you really don't like, leave. And if you can't, begin working towards leaving. Don't just get complacent. And if you're around negative people, let me tell you something about being successful. The first step to being successful is to surround yourself by successful people. I'm just being very honest. If you want to be a lawyer, you should surround yourself by people working towards becoming lawyers, or people that are better yet, people who are lawyers. Surround yourself by lawyers. Surround yourself by the kind of people that you want to be a part of. You want to achieve what they've achieved. I'm being very honest with you. I remember hearing this before, that if you're the smartest person in a room, you need to find some new friends. Like if you're surrounded by a bunch of people and you're the smartest person in that room, you need to surround yourself by new people. Think about that very, very carefully. All right? Because that's not saying you're stupid. What that's saying is that the people around you are just not very bright. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest with you. Bachelor Jaguar says, hey, what's going on, Bachelor? Guys, it's so funny. It's so funny. I'll tell you something else that's happening with Red Pill right now. So I'm looking at Red Pill and I'm thinking to myself, wow. Like last I checked, let me see if I can jump on there. Last I checked, the price on it was getting pretty stable as well. Okay, it's so it's really really interesting. It's really really interesting. You know, all the people that spoke, that attacked it, and you know, that have been coming after, came after me over this. This is where things get really really interesting. People like DDJ, you know, are going to will probably end up making money off this. And people who and it's funny because like you have to be very, you know, when you see others criticizing, that doesn't mean you should jump on the bandwagon. I've always said this, that you should learn to think for yourself. Don't just follow the herd. Think for yourself. And it's so funny. What's sad is because a lot of people are going to blame other people for their own failure. All right? For their own failure. And then they come asking for forgiveness. And you know what my policy is? I forgive you, but I will not forget what you've done. So always forgive, never forget. You understand? Always forgive, never forget. Forgiving someone doesn't mean that you will give them the opportunity to do what they did all over again. Okay? Someone robbed your house. You forgive them. It doesn't mean that you're going to allow them to come into your home again unsupervised and to rinse and repeat the same behavior. Forgiveness doesn't mean allowing someone to have the opportunity to do something again. Okay? It doesn't mean letting your guard down again. Forgiveness just means not hating them. That's really all it is. Forgiveness means not hating them. It doesn't mean that you don't take precautions. If you know this person's a thief, you can forgive him for being a thief, but you sure as heck will have 911 on standby if they try anything. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being honest. As I've said this earlier in the video, this is the title of the video, some people can't be helped. Bachelor Jaguar says, just finished my first edited news piece. I'm starting 2 businesses. Very, very good. Very, very good, Bachelor Jaguar. Very, very good. He said, I just finished my first edited news piece. I'm starting 2 businesses. There you go. There you go, bro. There you go. AP530 says, Dr. Mickey Turner is the man. Dr. Mickey Turner. I'll tell you something funny. Sharky's been kind of funny lately. Sharky's getting kind of funny. Like, Sharky is, the level of confidence I'm seeing from Sharky is something else. The level of confidence I'm seeing from Sharky is something else. Sharky's getting real confident these days, I'm telling y'all. You see here. It's funny, guys. Like, there's a lot of people right now sitting on their hands acting like there's no recession happening, acting like we're not in the midst of an economic collapse. All right? And those are the people who are going to end up being homeless. Those are going to be the people who can't buy food. Those are going to be people who can't survive, and they're going to look to people who actually took precautions, who actually began preparing. And I'm not talking about those of you buying up gold and silver and bullets. You guys are just nuts. All right? I told y'all, right? I told y'all already, okay? I told y'all already. 3 guys on horseback with a bunch of baseball bats, all right? I don't care if you have a Glock, all right? 3 guys on horseback with some baseball bats, all right? They're going to take your gold. They're going to take your gold and your shoes, all right? I'm just being really honest with you, okay? We're not headed for the wild, wild west. We're headed for something very, very different. I mean, granted, there may be some elements of the wild west in there, although personally, I think it's going to be more like martial law. Nature Monk says, you can coach a person to a certain level, but you can't teach a fish to fly. Truth. Truth. You can coach a person to a certain level, but you can't teach a fish to fly. That is true. That is true. Some people can't be helped. They can't. You have to just cut them loose. You have to cut them loose and you have to keep moving forward. Let me tell you guys something. Some of you are probably listening to this video and you say, well, Angry, I'm not as strong as you are. You know? But it's funny because many of you have been with me for years. All right? And a lot of my subscribers have abandoned me at this point after I dropped the MGTOW label. But many of you have been with me for years and you've seen me. You've seen me go up and down. You've seen me being all the way up there. You've seen me at the top and at the bottom. You've seen me succeed. You've seen me fail. You've seen that, guys. Okay? You have. I've talked candidly about my about my issues with opioids, with prescription medication, with benzos. I've talked openly about my struggles with mental health. I've talked open about my struggles with finances. I've talked openly about my struggles with education. I've struggled in many areas. All right, many areas. The difference is that I keep pushing. I fall down. And there are times when I just lay down and I say I can't do it anymore. And I just say, God, help me. And it's funny because at those moments, that's usually when God picks me back up. And when it gets so bad that I just can't continue going anymore, that's when something gives. God's always there. And you guys have been with me. Those of you that have been with me for years, you've seen that. You've seen that. So to say that you can't do it, we all fall down. We all fall down in life. It's a part of life. It's a part of learning. The difference is the people who get back up versus those who stay down. Think about that very carefully. I forget how Michael Jordan phrased it, you know? He said that the shots that he always worried about the most were not the shots that he missed, or were the shots that he didn't take. All right? Think about that. Because if you don't take the shot, then it says, if you don't take the shot, then you didn't even try. So you did not even try to put a point on the clock. You didn't even make that effort. Think about that carefully. The richest man in China. The richest man in China. This guy is something else. I am amazed by this guy. I'm amazed by him. And his English has been getting better over time. But, he struggles with English. He does. And he still speaks English. He struggles with English and he still speaks English. When I've seen him speak, he doesn't speak through a translator. He speaks and you listen. And you can say, this guy's English is crap. But guess what? He's still speaking and he's getting better over time. I remember a story where he went and he applied. They said that he applied for a job at KFC. And everyone else got hired except for him. Like they were hiring 100 people. All right? There were like 100 people who applied. They hired 99. He was the only one who did not get hired. I want you to think about this very, very carefully. He is a KFC reject. The richest man in China is a KFC reject. And it doesn't stop there. He got rejected from the police force where they were looking for this many people, 100 people applied, and they hired everyone except for him. it just kept happening where he would apply for jobs and everyone else would get the job except for him. And you would think, well, this guy is really a freaking failure. And today he's the richest man in China because he didn't give up. You see, he knows how to handle failure. He failed so many times in his life, and he failed at so many different things that he knows how to handle failure. And as a result of that, he can now work towards success. A lot of people today, let's talk about like a lot of doctors, for example, or dentists, are people who work in these these higher fields. I always find it stunning how when they lose their jobs, so when something happens and they can no longer work as a doctor, they can no longer work as a lawyer, they can no longer work in that specific field, their entire life is destroyed. It's frightening. It's it's insanely frightening. A lot of and this is why so many doctors, I think, go on, like a lot of doctors now go on to try to get an MBA, because a lot of doctors who lose their medical license or can no longer work as a doctor for whatever reason, they end up falling into poverty, mass poverty. You're going to say, how could someone who is making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year now fall into massive amounts of poverty? You want to say it doesn't make any sense, right? Bachelor Jaguar says, learning language is hard too. Being polygamist, being a polyglot, being polyglots are tough, or training to be one. Here's the interesting thing. You can say it's tough, or you can start doing it. Everyone is different. You know what's interesting? What's hard for what some people find easy, many other people find hard. And what other people find hard, there are many people who find it easy. Think about this carefully. Look at guys like Eminem. Eminem is one of the greatest rappers of all time. All right? I was watching Jimmy Kimmel, and I can't stand Jimmy Kimmel, but I found this interesting. And Eminem was talking about, I forgot what word, but he said he gets upset when people say that this word, that you can't rhyme the specific word. And he was like, there's a lot of things that rhyme with this, right? I forget if it was like orange. Like, there's a lot of things that you can rhyme with it, right? And then he showed us. This is a guy who basically failed out of high school. And he said he wasn't it's not that he was a dumb kid, but he just couldn't do it anymore. And people thought that he was like functionally retarded. It's all kinds of crap. Listen to the stories about a lot of people who succeed in life. And these people have been the biggest failures. You hear a mountain of failures. You wonder how this person ever got to where they are today. A lot of you probably didn't know Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was when he was younger, he was broke. He used to walk like a long distance to go to like a free soup kitchen to get a meal. He was poor. Steve Jobs. Okay? He's just one of many examples. Rush Limbaugh, I think, is another example. I heard something like he was fired from like 100 jobs. He's like fired from like 100 different jobs until he finally found something that he was good at. Talk radio. I want you to think about that. A lot of these people who people look up to, the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, a lot of these people, if they can no longer work in their field, they can't do anything. When the last recession hit, there were a lot of these people with multiple degrees, doctorates, okay? Engineers that used to work for NASA, Boeing, these giant companies, and there just were no longer jobs in their fields. There just were no longer jobs in their fields, and they couldn't even get a job teaching. And these people ended up homeless. And you're going to say this doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect sense. Because these people don't know how to deal with failure. They completely shut down. They have no real life experience. They don't. They have no real practical life experience. So they don't know how to deal with hard times. They don't know what to do or how to survive. The average person ends up homeless today. You end up homeless today. If you end up homeless today, most of you wouldn't even know what to do. Toss y'all on the street right now. Most of y'all wouldn't know what to do, except for those who have been homeless before. But those who have not been homeless, most of y'all won't know what to do. Okay? What do you do? A lot of y'all will try to find like a place to go and sit down and to like shy away. Or you look at the other homeless people and try to figure out what they're doing and basically try to copy, like, where are they going for food? Because that's really what's going to happen, okay? Many of y'all will be hungry, thirsty. You wouldn't know what to do. You know what happens? You know how I would handle it? And I never want to be homeless again. I never want to experience that again. I'll tell you how I'll handle it. Okay, first off, you need to find water. If you don't have water, you're screwed. Okay? Where can I get water and food? Water and food. Okay? Start asking around. Start asking questions. Ask other people. All right? Ask questions. Most people wouldn't even have the common sense to start asking questions. To start researching, start doing these things. Start walking around. Don't just sit there, all right? Here's another tip for you. Just because you're homeless doesn't mean you should look like you're homeless. This is a big tip, huge tip. Just because you're homeless doesn't mean you should look like you're homeless, okay? So once you've secured your basic necessities, water, because without water you're screwed, then you can work on food and shelter. All right? Then you can work on food and shelter. The irony is that many of you will end up discovering that, okay, so I need to work on food and shelter, but it's going to be, there's no way I can get shelter right now because all the homeless shelters are jam-packed. They're a waiting list. People are waiting months to get into homeless shelters. People are waiting months to get in. You're new to the game. That's what it is. Let me tell y'all something. Homelessness is a way of life. It's a system. Y'all think that you're just going to end up homeless and go stay go to a soup kitchen and go to a shelter. You don't know what you're talking about. All right? For example, there are specific hours. And if you don't get there at a specific time, you don't eat. Sometimes there's even a cutoff. They can only take this many people. First 100. And you're going to be waiting in that line for a long time. You got to learn a routine. And let me tell you something about being homeless. When you start learning the routine, then it becomes a profession. All right? You start learning the routine, and then homelessness starts to become a profession. And you never want it to become a profession. Say that right now. Bachelor Jaguar says, I've been homeless too. All right, so you know what's up, bro. Most of these people don't. Most of these people have no idea. Baxter says, we are taught to be slaves to industrial revolution type work, compartmentalized, specialized, and a niche on a factory line. Education teaches us the opposite of what we truly are. It absolutely does. Absolutely does. One of the most important things is that you have to break free. And you have to think for yourself. It's so important that you start thinking for yourself, because no one else is going to do it for you. And if you don't start doing it soon, then eventually you're going to forget how to do it. And when everything starts crumbling around you, you're not going to know what to do. Like I said, if you haven't started investing in crypto by now, boo hoo hoo. Boo hoo hoo. Too bad for you. I'm just being honest. I'm just being completely honest. If you have not started investing in crypto right now, if you have not started taking the lead for your life and ensuring that, hey, you will have options, you will be able to prevent yourself from going completely homeless and hungry, if you haven't been investing in crypto, and either you're just going to invest at the last minute when everyone is desperate to buy some, you're out of your mind. I told you, I'm going to be selling my crap coins for next to nothing. I'm going to sell my crap coins for crazy money. You're going to be buying my crap coins for crazy money. It's not too late though. Right now is still a good time to invest. It's a great time to invest. But many of you are going to keep sitting on your hands. Don't forget, you can go over to cryptomoney.academy. The links are in the description of the video. And click on courses. We have a bunch of courses for you. We have Introduction to Cryptocurrency. This is a course for $150. We have Introduction to Day Trading Cryptocurrency for a Living. This one's $159. We have How to Buy Bitcoins Anonymously and Through Secret Methods. This one's $110. And then we also have this course, which is $99 for a limited time. This course is going to $199 on May 1st. Okay? This is a very, very intensive course. This one is, I actually take my knowledge and I teach you the methods that I use for how to choose and invest in altcoins that will increase by 10 times to 100 times or more. So I show you, I teach you, I give you the methods that I use for investment, how I evaluate coins to figure out which coins are going to shoot up significantly in value. I actually teach you in this course. So this one's actually, so it's going for $99 right now. That's the early bird special. And it will be going for $199, so $200 as of May 1st. So you guys have like less than a week to pick it up at the early bird price. It's cryptomoney.academy. The link is in the description of the video. So, and please don't come on and say, hey, please. No, I made it early bird special. If you want it, if you want it at that price, gotta get there early. That's another thing, guys. Be early. Be early. Like I said, you should be investing. You should be investing in crypto. You should be buying when everyone else is selling. You should be selling when everyone else is buying. All right? That's something that I learned from Warren Buffett many, many years ago. That's how he invests. That's how he invests. All right? But everyone wants to wait until it feels like it's safe. Until you hear that everyone, like someone's making $1 million from Bitcoin. Okay, then it's safe to invest. You've got to be insane. Bachelor Jaguar says, is there a beginner's crypto course? Yeah, that's I just showed you on the page. Introduction to Cryptocurrency. That one's $150. I will say this right now also, you have to be very, very careful when you're if you're trying to go on Google and look up cryptocurrency courses, do not use tutorials on Google, because they'll try to tell you stuff like, oh, so what you need to do is send your coins to this wallet, and they'll give you a wallet. They'll give you a wallet where you'll send your coins so they can steal your coins from you. So yeah, again, don't use Google. Don't go around Googling. If you want to learn how to actually do crypto, we have Introduction to Cryptocurrency. This course is very, very good. Because when I first started with crypto, I lost a ton of money. With this course, you're going to understand how cryptocurrency works, how to purchase and use it, how to store it, different kinds of crypto. You can look at the entire curriculum. It's very intensive right here. So you basically learn everything you need to learn. All right. This is a pretty stacked course. All right. And then you also have Introduction to Day Trading Cryptocurrency for a Living. The Introduction to Cryptocurrency course is going to $160. on May 1st. So if you want to get it at 150, I definitely recommend picking it up right now because it's going to be going to 160 or 159.99 on May 1st. So definitely recommend picking that up. And you can basically see what the curriculum is here for this one. Like, I mean, you can see what it, by the end of the day trading course, you'll understand different kinds of traders and day trades. You'll understand day trading strategies, utilize day trading charts and software to make accurate and precise trades, develop your own trading plan, and you'll understand the best strategy for taking profit without incurring a loss. That's the day trading course. So you can look at the full curriculum for the day trading course here. Very, very extensive course. And again, same thing. We have the how to choose / invest in altcoins that will increase by 10 times, 100 times or more. This course is incredible. Like I said, I definitely recommend getting it at the early bird price. There will be no discounts. This course really is going to teach you what you need to learn to evaluate coins so that you're going to learn how to invest in coins that are going to increase by 10 times or even 100 times or more. All right. And I teach you the methods that I use to evaluate. So you're going to be able to do this now on your own. So this course is worth more than $200, and it'll probably end up hitting about 500 when Bitcoin picks up again. When the markets are crazy, this course will be going for like $500. But yeah, it's going to 199 on May 1st. So you can find all of these courses on cryptomoney.academy. The links are in the description of the video. As I said, don't sit on your hands. Don't expect someone else to do it for you. You know, Mickey's like taking like pretty much almost all of the courses at this point. Mickey's taken almost all of the courses at this point. I'm just telling y'all right now. All right. Jaguar said he didn't know where to start with crypto. But yeah, but yeah, like I said, you can start with the intro course. He said awesome, great. And that's the best place to start. Don't think that you're gonna start learning crypto when everything is going downhill, because there is a pretty big learning curve. But the introduction course helps to get you over that learning curve. That's the honest truth. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you right now. Just remember, some people can't be helped. Love God, get money, and shares.